I love movies. Hell, I want to be a filmmaker. And having been to film school, I can tell you one of the best ways to learn about films is to go and watch films. I try to go see as many movies as I can in the cinema to support the industry that I want to be in. And I thought that a nice little video idea slash exercise to do slash just general flex would be to talk about all the films I saw last year so we can hopefully together go through the good, the bad, and just grow as filmmakers. What a fun little idea, huh? Now in 2019, I went to the cinema 35 times. Some movies I rewatched. Some movies were just older movies that the cinema played, but every time was a dang enjoyable little experience. Let's just get into the first and hopefully last video of this year where I look like if Ferris Bueller took the whole year off. Vice. Yeah, it was okay. It was a little political for me. Preferred The Big Short. Christian Bale was too fat and he didn't drive enough Fords or Ferraris. 6 out of 10. Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse. Loved it. One of the best films of the year. Probably the best Spider-Man film ever. Miles Morales, more like smiles and applauses. How to Train Your Dragon 3. This is a great end to a really nice trilogy. I'm very glad that Pixar finally has some actual competition from Sony and DreamWorks. And, well, in my headcanon, this is how Game of Thrones ended. The favorite. I really like this wacky, brilliant, just well-directed, personal movie. And hey, the Broadchurch lady and the Spider-Man lady have said what men want. This was just a fun little turn your brain off comedy. Hey, look. Replace Mel Gibson with a black woman? Now that's my kind of remake. They should do that with the Jesus movie. Alita, Battle Angel. This was okay. I felt like it was trying a bit too hard to be a franchise, but you know, there was some fun in it. It was a little too kawaii for me. If Beale Street Could Talk, it was a beautiful, gut-wrenching movie, super personal, super vulnerable, a brilliant follow-up to Moonlight. I can't even meme on this one, just honestly go see it. It is amazing. Captain Marvel. Just a very average superhero movie. It kind of sucked, but, you know, at least it starred a lady. 7 out of 10. Fighting with My Family. I loved this just really honest, real take on a family unit. It was sweet. It made me care about sport for 2 hours, so it must have been good. Us. Now this was just as like weird and even more outlandish than Get Out. It was fun, it was scary. Give me Jordan Peele movies until I die, honestly. No doppelgangers had sex with each other though, so I gotta take points off for that. Shazam! Finally, a good DC movie. It was fun and it didn't feel like a freaking funeral half the time, you know? It did use the same villain as Ghostbusters, but what can you do? The Lego Movie 2, the second part. This one was just not as good as the first one. The human stuff should have been way more subtle, and it just felt a little bit weird. It felt kind of like a toy commercial the whole time, even though in the movie, they show you how much it sucks to step on Lego, so I didn't even know! Avengers, Endgame. This was a satisfying end to a big-ass franchise. It was just a big, fun, blockbuster movie. I don't even have to meme on this one. Thanos is just the meme that keeps on giving. But negative points for Fortnite. Top End Wedding. This was just a sweet little Australian film, just a little darling of a film, a little gem, you know, that I just enjoyed. It was nice. I did not like the questions that I got my girlfriend asking though. Haha, you know, questions like, can you go grab some popcorn for the movie? Long Shot, a fairly generic Seth Rogen comedy with a little bit of heart and a little bit of spice just pushed in by Charlize Theron being there. She's a darling, isn't she? But there is a scene where a guy jizzes all over himself, so do with that what you will. Yesterday was a nice little love story that got to be a Beatles movie without having to address spousal abuse. Yesterday, again, my first repeat viewing. Now, I did actually like this movie. It's no Trainspotting, but hey, it's the best film James Corden was in all year. Spider-Man, Far From Home. So, Spider-Man 17 came out, and it was fine. I mean, for me, it felt kind of like the least Spider-Man-ish films of all the Spider-Man films. Like, it was an okay movie. Spider-Man with no New York. You know what I mean? That's like Thor with no Asgard, or Iron Man without a drug addiction. Booksmart. This was one of the best original films of the year. It was funny, it was fun, it was like heartfelt, it was real. It took me right back to high school in all the best and really worst ways. It's like a modern day John Hughes high school movie, except nobody in it is cool in any way. Toy Story 4. Now, this movie I enjoyed watching. The more I thought about it and the more I think about it, the less I like it. So go in, see this movie for the nostalgia hit, and then get out of there and just forget about it all the way until Toy Story 5 comes out, where the gang has to deal with climate change or something. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I enjoyed every minute of this weird and wonderful movie. It was the Seinfeld of movies, and it had one of the best finales all year. Also, it had the most shots of feet all year, so 10 toes out of 10 toes for this one. Late Night. Mindy Kaling kills it here. So does Emma Thompson. It's fun, it's funny. It's not the best or the deepest comedy, but I tell you what, it shows women can be funny, damn it. Can somebody tell Captain Marvel that? It. But the first one. But not the first one, the 2017 one. So the cinema I went to see It 2 at was playing It 1 before It 2, and It 1, it's got it, you know, it's picturesque. Every shot is like a freaking painting. It's beautiful. It's just perfectly creepy in all the right and wrong ways. It's just a good film. I just wish the fat kid got to smash at the end, because when I grew up, I was that fat kid and we never get to smash. It, Chapter 2. Now, this movie just didn't quite do it for me. It just didn't quite have it. Bill Hader was good and the cast was good. They did well with what they were given, but the writing and the plot was just a bit messy and it wasn't as tight or creepy as the first one. But I guess Bill Hader, so 11 out of 10. Joker. Did somebody say Oscar bait? I actually really enjoyed this movie. I like Todd Phillips as a director, and I think Joaquin Phoenix did a great job. It was one of my favorites of the year, actually. But it probably will win an Oscar, so. Joker again! I did genuinely like this film. I thought it was actually really good. You know, who ain't a bit of a clown deep down, right? Was that the message? I don't know, probably. I literally watched 4 clown movies in a row. What is the dang circus in town or something? Huh? Zombieland 2, double tap. So this movie, gosh darn it, I enjoyed it better than the first Zombieland. There, I said it. It was fun and funny. It knew what it wanted to be, and it wasn't trying to be anything else. It was just a good time in the theater. I really liked this one. Also in this one, Woody Harrelson dislikes weed, and that was a huge plot twist. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Yes, the one from the 80s. My local cinema was playing it, and I was like, hey, I ain't never seen this film, so by gummit, why don't I go check it out? And I did. I enjoyed it. It's fun. It's a good time. I'd say it holds up pretty well. The principal is a complete serial stalker, so that is a bit weird. Hustlers. Now, this was pretty good. A bit more focused on spectacle than substance. J-Lo absolutely kills it. And I guess, you know, it shows that women can do all the stuff that men do, and also the stuff that women do. Equality. Knives Out. Who done made this movie? Rian Johnson done did it, and he done did a great job. It was lots of fun. It was just fun and funny, and there was suspense, drama, a big reveal, you know, all the classics. Just a really good original movie, and hey, it only had 1 Nazi in it, so I can't complain. Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker. This movie was just fine for me. It was okay. Talking about Star Wars on the internet sucks, so I'm not gonna do it. I liked Baby Yoda, and hey, I liked Baby Frick and Baby 8 too. You know, just make all the characters babies, and then maybe at least people will get to make memes. I don't know. Pain and Glory. Now, this movie really stuck with me after watching it. Antonio Banderas gives an amazing performance. The film is just beautifully personal. It's in Spanish, so I say Buenos dias. That means good job, I think. Parasite. As far as directing goes, this movie is tighter than a nun's chastity belt. Solid acting, editing, it all just sticks to it so well. The ending crescendos to one of the best finales of all year, tied with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, in my opinion. I was left in total awe by the end of this film, and the director previously did Okja. Now, there are no fat pigs in this one, unless you count me sitting in the cinema watching the movie, so oink oink to you, Bong Joon-ho. Jojo Rabbit. Now, this movie was a fun Nazi movie. Who would have we didn't not see that one. Damn it. This movie was a classic Taika Waititi cinema experience. You go in, you have some fun, you have some laughs, you have some tears. It was just good. The soundtrack was amazing. You know, you had someone playing Hitler and they pulled it off. So congrats to them. Taika used all the actors really well. Even Rebel Wilson, who did great in this film, but not so great in Cats. This was the last movie I saw this year, and I saw it really, really drunk, which meant it was one of the best cinema experiences I had. The movie itself is nightmarish, it's scary, it has hardly a plot, it is just demented. You're always distracted by the CGI, not just the sort of impressive, if you can even call it that, CGI, but the hellish mistakes that were made all over the film. It got a couple of really good actors, but despite that, this movie is a failure in every way. Where were the cat dicks? Two other movies that I did see this year were Irishman and El Camino. I didn't really know where to slot them in on this list because I didn't see them in cinemas. Obviously, they were Netflix films. Irishman I thought was a great show of how mature Scorsese has become as a filmmaker, and El Camino was just the perfect little nugget for me as a Breaking Bad fan who's waiting for Better Call Saul to come back. Forgot to say, also Marriage Story I watched, it was amazing, it made me cry, it was just so good, and oh my gosh, all the emotions, it was just a wonderful film. Also, a couple of movies I saw on this list were in Gold Lounge, 11 were in Gold Lounge to be precise. Now, Gold Lounge is essentially when you get to watch the movie with leather seats, you can order food, you can order drink, and I guess my review of Gold Lounge is the more drunk and more fat I can be when watching a movie, the better, so bring that on, baby. There we are. That's my list of all the films I saw this year. I hope you had some fun with me along on that little journey. And why don't you go along and see some of those movies, especially Cats, because it's feline, like they're going to lose $100 million at the box office. So do it for James. But thank you for watching. This year I'm going to try and do 52 films in 1 year. Last year I did 35. Let's try and up that this year. Like I said, last time you get to see this awful thing of a face. I'm going to cut my hair, I'm going to shave my face, and why don't you subscribe and ding that dang dong so you can, stay tuned for more memes and jokes and just some fun times in the year ahead. Let's do this. Let's have a great time. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time. Who would have thought it was so easy to make a dang video? Let's go.